Okay. We're going through more UK stuff today. Oh my god. I've been getting big emails from fucking bonger losers. Okay. Did you guys know? I didn't really think about this when people said this. In the UK, they don't have a constitution, right? So I'm just like, okay, whatever. I don't know. I just didn't really think about that. In the UK, they can just pass any law they want, ever. They can just always do that. That's crazy. So like if tomorrow the parliament was like, we're going to make a law against like swear words, they could just pass that law. And it's just, there's like no restraint on that. They can just pass whatever fucking law they want. It's called parliamentary sovereignty. That's crazy. Why? That plus this multi-party first past the post thing, I don't know. It just feels, I feel like the, am I crazy? I feel like that's not quite right. Okay, explain why I'm wrong on that. I'm curious, because that's what it looked like when I was looking at, they can just pass whatever law they want. Hold on. Part 1, bruv. Wait, hold on. I can't tell if people who are saying no are pointing out things that don't matter because they're fucking retarded or not.
Britain and Northern Ireland does indeed have a constitution. It just doesn't exist.
Okay, wait. So like this is a thing that I don't think is true, but maybe I need something deeper explained to me. Somebody said we can't pass laws that break the ECHR unless the UK was to leave the ECHR. I don't think that's actually true. I don't think that the ECHR matters except you adopted all of the ECHR things into your own legislative system. And if you want, you can just make a law that overturns any of the part of the ECHR stuff that you adopted, is my understanding of it. Is that not true? People are getting confused. All foreign laws have been incorporated. Yes, as in like you pass a law. So like if I were to make a thing called the Treaty of Destiny that says that everybody has to be 6 feet tall, and you quote unquote adopted that treaty, you would just pass your own law saying everybody, as per the Destiny Treaty that we are signatories to or whatever, we're going to pass a law saying everybody has to be 6 feet tall, basically, is my understanding of it. If you didn't leave the treaty, your own citizens could take... Well, yeah. Now, there's a third court. There's a higher court right now you can appeal to, the ECHR courts. But in order for any of the laws to work in the UK or whatever, you have to incorporate them into your own legal stuff. Which actually, that's not even that strange of a thing, because it's probably the same for the US or whatever, I would imagine, too. Or probably for most countries, I would imagine, too.
As a single document, like most other countries. Rather, the Constitution is a collection of official laws, royal decrees, treaties, legal cases, and statutes, all loosely tied together like a children's cardboard sculpture, except one that directly governs 66 million people and influence the laws that affect billions more. I obviously can't cover them all in depth, so over the next 2 videos we'll discuss what I think are the top 8 most important documents governing Britain today. And if you live in the United States or a former British Empire country, you too will probably have at least 1 or 2 of these documents copied into your own constitutions or local laws. Sorry and or you're welcome in advance. We will start with the oldest and most influential of these documents. King John I was one of the worst kings in English history. The English nobility hated him because he taxed them to pay for things like castles and private armies and hookers. The Pope hated him because he would reject bishops appointed by the Vatican and appoint his loyal supporters. The French hated him because he would constantly declare war on them. And the ordinary people hated him because his hobbies included imprisoning and torturing people for fun. Eventually, the English nobles had enough and laid siege to King John's castle, forcing him to sign a document putting limits on his power as monarch, so he would stop being such a massive cunt. 806 years later, this charter is still in force. Most of the clauses concern medieval taxes and feudal disputes, which have been repealed over the centuries. By the Vatican and appoint his loyal supporters. The French hated him because he would constantly declare war on them, and the ordinary people hated him because his hobbies included imprisoning and torturing people for fun. Eventually, the English nobles had enough and laid siege to King John's castle, forcing him to sign a document putting limits on his power as monarch, so he would stop being such a massive cunt.
I think the historical significance of the Magna Carta, I think, is the Magna Carta is the only time, or is the first time in all of history where a monarchy wasn't just overthrown or wasn't overthrown for a new one, but rather there was some document that for the first time recognized some constraint on the powers of the monarchy, right? Basically saying like, okay, listen, you could be the king, okay, but we're not doing this, the king that can do fucking anything he wants to all of us anymore, okay?
806 years later, this charter is still in force. Most of the
which is why I think in the U.S. historically you jerk off the Magna Carta a bit because it represents like a constraint on the power of, I mean, what would you consider the king to be the most analogous to? Probably just a chief executive, I guess, right? Yeah.
Clauses concern medieval taxes and feudal disputes, which have been repealed over the centuries, but 3 of the original 63 clauses remain. That's probably for the better, though. Some of these clauses are really anti-Semitic. Clause 1 guarantees independence for the Church of England to stop the monarch stacking it with political priests. Clause 9 guarantees legal independence to the City of London, which is still respected today. But there's also Clause 39, and this is the big one. No free man shall be seized or imprisoned or stripped of his rights or possessions or outlawed or exiled or deprived of his standing in any other way, nor will we proceed with force against him or send others to do so, except by the lawful judgment of his equals or by the law of the land. Jury trial.
Okay, but for the counter of this, apparently a lot of DGGers are saying the Magna Carta doesn't mean fuck all, so I don't know. Maybe they're right. There you go. I'm going to be honest, I don't know literally anything about anything that happens in Europe at all prior to... When the fuck was the Enlightenment? Was that like 1700s? I don't even know if anything even happens in this godforsaken continent before then. Fuck that.
The 13th century?
I think the church ran everything, and they killed witches.
This was pretty revolutionary. A right to a fair trial in the age of locking up blasphemers and burning them at the stake? So revolutionary, in fact, that when the American revolutionaries after their revolting revolution set up their record of revolvers and unrestricted writing, they copied many of the Charter's provisions into their own Bill of Rights, particularly the bits about guaranteeing trial by jury and the ability to petition the king. The Magna Carta is not really a proto-constitution, despite some people saying so. It's a peace treaty between the monarch and free men, aka lords and gentry. But because the government now represent the crown and the notion of free men has been extended to all living people, Parliament is bound by the treaty as if it was law. Neat.
Are you actually debating UK politics with Kissin, or is that background in case he tries to bring it up as example? It's just good to know the structure, the underlying structures of things. I don't like to have just like a discrete fact of a thing. I would at least have, I don't need to know everything, but it's nice to have some bedrock underlying stuff so that I can navigate the argument instead of us just rattling off talking points at each other. Well, I won't be, he will be, but...
The only place the Magna Carta has never applied anywhere in the British...
I'm a resident of the constituency where Matt Goodwin is running for MP. Which party do you think might be better for my local area? I don't know fuck all about how the MPs govern your local areas. That Matt Goodwin dude seems like a fucking retard, though. These are all like Trump light people, in my opinion, all the reform people. Also, by the way, pretty sure that Matt Goodwin guy said like a year and a half ago, he's like, oh, I'm not even conservative. I would never even, I'm not even reform at all. I'm just blah, blah, blah. And then, oh, lo and behold, he's running for fucking reform now. Who could have fucking guessed? Whoa!
Empire was Scotland. Yes.
However, your Green Party fucking platform, at least the shit that I saw on immigration, those guys seem fucking crazy. Those guys seem unhinged. So I don't know. Fucking, I'm just a Labour kind of guy. I'm just a center left dude, especially now that fucking weirdo Corbyn is gone. Okay, what do you want me to say?
As if it was law. Neat. The only place the Magna Carta has never applied anywhere in the British Empire was Scotland. Yes, by a quirk in the law, the Magna Carta has never applied north of the border, because England was an independent country from Scotland at this time. But they aren't missing much, because London is in England and Scotland is Presbyterian, not Anglican. Further still, a 1603 legal case says that Scots in England have all the rights guaranteed under the Charter anyway, even though it doesn't apply. Don't ask me to explain that, laws aren't real. So, the right to a fair trial. This cornerstone of freedom was the only right that English, Welsh and Irish people had for centuries and centuries, until the 1680s, when this list of liberties was about to get a whole lot bigger. Fast forwarding 4.5 centuries now to the Glorious Revolution, as with many of the...
Actually, I just remind, vote Labour, please God, vote Labour, because I don't want the fucking whole debate between me and Constantine to boil down to like, it's either Farage or that Zach Anafliakis guy, whatever the fuck the Green leader guy is. So just, please God, just let Labour win in that thing so I don't have to ever learn anything about this dude, because I have a feeling that if I start digging into the Green Party head guy, that he's going to be a fucking crazy loser. So please God, no. Oh, Polanski, that dude. Jesus Christ. Isn't that the name of the fucking movie raper dude?
Problems, this started with religion. At this time, this gentleman was king of both England, as James II, and Scotland, as James VII. But he was a Catholic king of Protestant countries, and ever since Henry VIII split the church and his marriages and his wives, papists were super unpopular. One of his first priorities as king was to flip these countries Catholic again.
Just search up Polanski's favorite economist. What does that mean? Polanski favorite economist. His political view says, oh God, I saw eco-populist. Oh my God. What? That sounds like the worst hyphenated thing ever. Linking issues such as high cost of living with climate change, spending a wealth tax to reduce inequality. When you said his favorite economist, is it going to be that one weirdo, the one guy that we watch? My sister is a fucking brokey fuck and she's dying right now and I've made millions trading. Gary's... No shot. Shut the fuck up. No, it's not. Zach Polanski. Gary's Economics. Shut up. No!
The moment I launched this podcast,
No! How labor sold their soul to billionaires.
Yes.
Just don't. Please just vote labor. Forget what I said earlier. Please vote labor. Please, please, God. They're all close in the polls, okay? Oh, Jesus Christ.
Introducing a law to Parliament supporting greater freedoms for Catholic religious leaders. The Protestant, English and Scottish Parliaments said, no way. And so King James did the next logical step and disbanded Parliament, ruled by decree.
What about the Lib Dem? I don't know. Those guys are like no support in the polls. Fuck Lib Dems, okay?
Did whatever he wanted, raising taxes, confiscating land, having his own personal...
Also, the Keir Starmer dude, he just seems like my kind of guy. Boring guy, does government shit, been relatively stable, not super cucked out to the far left, not making all the radical, crazy concessions the far right. Seems like he's doing an okay job, okay?
Military and forcing Catholic worship in Protestant churches. The nobility were, of course, not happy. Only a few decades before, the Civil War had determined Parliament was superior to the Crown. King Jimbo over here was trampling all over that. Fortunately, he had a lovely Protestant daughter who was married to the really wealthy, also Protestant King of the Netherlands, Will.
Okay, I don't care about this. I don't think it's ever going to come up. Okay. Oh boy. Have you studied up on any personal attacks on Constantine in case he tries to... I don't think he would. But I feel very confident on the subject matter here, so... I don't think that would happen. I would be more comfortable... I would be more comfortable yanking this back to the subject matter than trying to do just like a mudslinging contest.